So the first thing that I want to tell you is that you have to be careful about the cut of meat in this. The ran means the hind leg. Some people who are not well versed with going and buying the meat themselves, they may get confused between the shoulder, which is called dast, and ran, which is the hind leg. Generally, it is said that don't buy the meat of a very big goat. On an average, if the leg is weighing around 2 kgs, that's the right size. This is what this ran is. It's around 2 kgs. And just make sure that you get the fat on the meat trimmed off. Any kind of a skin film on it, get that taken off. Tell the butcher to take all that off. And when you bring it home, of course, the first thing you do is you got to wash it nicely, make sure that it's clean, and then you start the process. So let's talk about the ingredients. There are quite a few, but fairly easy. Most of the ingredients would be in your house, and the ones that are not are very easy to source. The first most interesting one is raw papaya. Marination is a very important process in this recipe, and I'll tell you all about it later. So you need raw papaya, small to medium size. Then you need curd. You need a good amount, maybe 500. I use a little more than 500 in this recipe, and I'll tell you later why I did though. Then you need some dry masalas like red chili powder, salt, turmeric, coriander powder, cumin powder, black pepper coarsely ground, some garam masala. So that's as far as the dry masalas go. As far as the curd is concerned, I prefer using homemade curd. It doesn't have any kind of a chemical aftertaste, which is really good. But you can also get probiotic curd from the market. Now, one more thing is that in this we use a flavored oil. Basically, we flavor the oil. You use regular vegetable refined oil, but you flavor it with some khada masalas. So khada masala means whole spices, which basically is cardamom, cinnamon, clove, and some black pepper, and a bay leaf. So you need that for flavoring the oil, and how to do it I'll tell you later. Then of course you need onions, 3 to 4 medium-sized onions. You need ginger, garlic. You can also go with ginger garlic paste, which is what I wanted to, then later I changed my mind and I used fresh ginger garlic. You need green chilies, you need some coriander, fresh mint leaves, and what I also added over the years in this is some honey. Try and get some raw organic honey, forest honey, not the typical market one, and little 60 to 90 ml of dark rum shot. I'll tell you how we use these two later on. And so this is it. Not that difficult. All of them is fairly easily available. So now let's get on with the marination process. One important step before you start the process of marination is that you have to take a sharp knife and you have to make slightly deep cuts on the entire leg, on both sides of the meat. And you also have to jab it with a knife, with a pointy knife, and make some small holes into it. And this you do so that whatever you are going to marinate the meat in, all of that also soaks into the meat and not just stays on the surface level. Let's start with the marination process. We have 2 types of marination in this. And it's, I would say, the most important part of cooking this ran. The entire flavoring, everything comes from this marination process. The first marination is for tenderizing only, in which we basically take the raw papaya, skin it, and then use the fruit inside, and we basically make a puree out of it in the mixie. And we use that puree along with some salt and turmeric at this stage to also kind of sanitize the meat, and also use this puree all over it. We cover it generously with it and make sure that it's completely covered on both sides. After doing that, basically just put it in a dish, use a dish which is also oven friendly, which can be used later on, and let's have all the marination process, everything going on in the same dish. Then cover it with a cling film, and shove it in the fridge, refrigerate it for a good 12 hours. Minimum 8 hours, but ideally 12 hours. The second step of marination, basically 12 hours it's been refrigerated with the tenderizer. Now you take it out, and the first thing is you need to keep it out for maybe an hour or so, maybe more, and bring it to the room temperature before you do anything. So you got to do that. Once the meat has come to the room temperature, you take out the cling film and you scrape off all the excess papaya puree covering the meat, and you chuck it away. You don't need it. It has done its job. Little bit of it sticking to the meat is fine. It's not a big deal. It will add to it, but take out all the excess one. The second thing you do is that you take the lemon, fresh lemon, and you squeeze half of it on each side. So after you've taken off the excess papaya pulp from the meat, you basically need to get down to preparing your second marinade. This marinade is for flavoring, so it's very important. You first puree the onion, ginger, garlic, green chilies together. So after you've got the puree ready, you pour it out in a fairly big bowl. You add all your dry masalas into it. Cumin powder, your coriander powder, garam masala, red chilies, and you also add a little more salt at this time. Then you're going to add your curd into it, which is, like I said, 500 grams. I used a little more than that, and the reason for that is that the excess marinade that's going to remain after all this, I'm going to make a little korma out of it. 500-600 grams of curd. You mix it all together, and when it's become a nice paste, you basically use that and you start applying it all over the meat. You pour it out all over the meat, and then you rub it in with your hand, and you make sure that you shove it into all those holes that you had made, all the cuts that you had made on both sides. You turn it around a couple of times. Make sure the meat is totally dunked in that marinade. Then of course you cover it with another cling film and refrigerate it. I do it normally for 24 hours because this is where all the flavoring comes in. There is nothing here to do later on, so most of your flavoring comes here, and so therefore the longer the meat marinates, the more flavoring it will soak in. But minimum, I mean, if you're in a rush, you don't want to go 24 hours, at least do it for 12 hours, 12 to 14 hours. And so this is the marination process. The marination process is done. You take out your meat from the fridge and you keep it out to bring it down to the room temperature. While that is happening, you need to make your flavored oil. How you do it is basically take say around 150 ml of oil, vegetable refined oil, and you pour it in a pan and on slow fire, and you add the whole spices, the khada masala, which is essentially cardamom, clove, cinnamon and black pepper, and a bay leaf. And you add all of that into the oil and only heat it till the point all of this sizzles. The minute it sizzles, you turn it off. You're not going to over fry it, overdo it or anything like that. Just let it sizzle and you bring it out. Once your flavored oil is ready, you preheat the oven for 10-20 minutes at 200 degrees so that the oven gets evenly hot. It has the same temperature, and then you come to your meat. You take out your cling film, you roll your meat around, bring it alive again, cover it again with the marinade. And then you pour out a little bit of the oil over it on both sides, and a little bit can fall off in the marinade as well. And keep the rest of the oil separately. You will need it later. Then you cover this bowl with aluminium foil. Cover it properly so that no heat escapes it, and you shove the bowl in with the meat and the marinade in the oven. You need to do it for 2 hours, but you start with 1 hour at 200 degrees. So after an hour, for 1 hour you don't need to really check on it at all, because it will take that time to get any kind of cooking happening there. Then after 1 hour, you take the meat out, you take the bowl out, and you open the foil and you check on it. You poke the meat, you check how much it has cooked, and depending on how much it has cooked, I think you probably would need another 1 hour of cooking at least. So you turn around the meat, and you again put a little bit of oil on it. And then cover it again with the foil, with the aluminium foil, and then again place it back into the oven for another 1 hour. Or if the meat has really got tender and is almost cooked, then for maybe another half an hour. I think for an hour would be nice. In our case, because I'd really done 12 hours to 14 hours of tenderizing and then 24 hours of marination, in the second time around we felt that the meat would be done in just 30-40 minutes, and we took it out after 40 minutes. But it'll be okay if you cook it till 1 hour. Then you take out the bowl and you remove the silver foil, the aluminium foil rather. You prepare a tray, cover it with aluminium foil, then you brush it with the flavored oil. You're going to place the meat now. You're going to take out the meat from all that marinade, and you're going to just place the meat on that. So the oil will make sure that it doesn't stick to the foil. Leave the rest of the marinade there. You don't need to cover the meat again with any marinade. And you also brush a little oil on the meat that's facing up. And then you place the tray inside the oven for approximately 30-40 minutes at 160 degrees. Meanwhile, you come and you start preparing your korma. So all the marinade that was left there, you pour it out in a non-stick deep pan, and there's no need to add any more oil in it because it already has the oil. It has good stock from the meat, and it has all the masalas, everything. There's nothing you need to add right now. And you start simmering it on low fire. After it has simmered a bit, you add a little bit of fresh mint leaves into it. You squeeze a little bit of lemon into it. A half lemon is more than enough. Sometimes if you're using a market curd, that might be, you can taste it and see that might be sour enough, but because ours was homemade, it was a little sweet, so we added a little lemon to it to round off the taste. Then you also add a little sugar, and you keep stirring it, and on low fire, and you keep reducing it. So your korma is being done. It take a little while to cook properly, it will take a little while, and also to reduce. Meanwhile, after 30 minutes, you would take out your tray and you check on the meat. If it's browned nicely enough, you don't need to shove it in again. You take it out, you turn the meat around, you again glaze it with a little bit of oil, that same flavored oil, and now you turn it around, keeping the meat the other side up, and again brown it for another 20-30 minutes, and again at 160 degrees. And meanwhile, your korma would be done, and you start preparing for the garnishing. So I used all kind of stuff to garnish the meat. Once the meat is done, you take out the tray and you check, and it's done right down to the bone, and it's nicely brown on both sides. You prepare your plate or whatever dish that you are going to be serving it in, and you place your meat there first. Whatever little oil is left on the tray, you use that, as well as a little oil which is excess from the korma, you can use that. All of this has a lot of flavor, and a little bit of oil you can also use from whatever is left in that flavored oil that you had made. And you glaze the entire mutton with it, and then you surround it with whatever garnishings you want. I'd use spring onions, cucumber, radish, fresh coriander, green chilies, all kind of colorful stuff, and it's up to you, and you can just surround it, the meat with that. And then you take out the honey, and you pour a little honey on top of it, and not too much, but a little bit all over it, and then you pour the dark rum, and make sure again it's poured evenly all over the thing, and your glorious mutton raan is done. And of course, you take out a little bowl of korma, and you have something to dip your roti into. So you can serve it with roti, naan, parathas, lacha parathas, all kind of Indian breads. You can even have it with rice. You've got a korma to go with it, or you can just eat it as it is, because it's nice dry stuff. Have a lot of salad with it, and that should be it. So it's a great recipe. As you have seen, it's not very difficult to do. It's just a little tedious, long process, but it's got a great payoff in the end. So I love it. It's one of my favorite recipes. I've been at it for a long time, and even now I think I have a huge room for improvement. And but never give up, and so keep trying. And I hope some of you do try this out. And these days many of us are at home, so it's a perfect time to try this one out. And and let me know that how it turns out with you. Hopefully you will have less kitchen disasters than I did making raan. That's about it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you like what I made and how it looked. Next week, again, of course, the head chef is back, and I think she'll have again interesting recipe for you guys. Hopefully something which takes less time to cook. And do subscribe to our channel. We need subscribers, we need your support. And thank you so much for so many of you who have been doing it and sharing our content on the social media. and always supporting us and saying all the nice, kind things. Thank you so much. It's really encouraging. And see you again soon. Have fun. Stay safe. Bye.